Hey guys, it's Eclipzz, and today I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough of Chaos Island, our new Battle Royale made by me and Chaos Inc. Huge appreciation to them because they're the only reason that this map was possible, but I'm just going to show you the POIs, the mechanics you can expect to find, and hopefully you can find some place you like. So without further ado, let's begin. So if you go into the middle portal, you can land at 3 POIs close by. There's Garden Grove down there, which isn't loaded. There's Peaceful Pines, but the first POI I'll be showing you is Spicy Shops. So there's nothing really special here. Just a little shopping center area with a few custom signs, quite a few dirt bike spawns around, but the main gist of this area is just a solid center POI. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It has a decent amount of loot, not that much, but yeah, this is just an area to go if you want to find a few people and don't want that big of an area to explore. Probably the smallest POI on the map. So the next POI is Peaceful Pines. Probably the biggest area on the map, like not building wise, but it just has a lot of land coverage. But it's this island here and another island over there and one more cabin off to the side. But there's a few bridges connecting to all of the islands. It's just a simple cabin area. And this is storyline. If you haven't checked out the story of the stage video, you might want to go do that. But it's just these two little islands, not that much loot there. I'd say enough for maybe 3 people to get a full loadout. But yeah, that is Peaceful Pines. And in this area we have Tremor Tropics, which is so far everyone's favorite POI. It's pretty simple, honestly. I don't know why it's everyone's favorite, but it's just a few buildings down here, mostly stores and shops. But if you go over here, if I could run any faster, it's a little bit of a residential area. So kind of like a crack here in the ground, but if you go back over here, the road picks back up, and you can find kind of like Sleepy Sound is what it's been compared to, but just a few little houses up here, and a nice little view of a cove. The next POI is another one of the popular POIs, and that is Garden Grove. It's just a nice little residential town area with an apartment, postal office, restaurant. Don't mind that. Definitely not a Home Depot ripoff. No sweat building, a nice little storage area. Just kind of like Holly Hedges if you think about it, but just a simple house POI to kind of even out the map, since a lot of it is lodges and factories and just other types of areas. But yeah, this is the main residential POI, and honestly probably one of my favorites. And for the next POI I had to start a new round because of Storm, but it's one out of the 2 snow POIs, and this is Remedy Reserve. Now, this is one of my favorites. I've heard a few people say the same. There's nothing really special about here, but it's a really easy way to get shield, a few factory buildings, and unlike most snow POIs, it actually endures the snowy effect, and it's not just a town with snow on the streets. You know, the buildings are actually decorated for it. There's icicles, there's iced out buildings, and there's this cool thing to where every time you break one of the slurp things connected to pipes, they get smaller and smaller and smaller until you get 50 shield. So that's one of my favorite parts about this POI. Nothing too special. There's a huge building in the middle, but it's nice to land at if you want loot and to land at a POI that has somewhat of a theme. And the second snowy POI, which is another one of my favorite POIs, even though I've probably said that about almost every location on this map, is Mirrored Mines, which is a nice little mine shaft area from above, kind of clean, but there's more. If you come down here, there's a cave system, you can look around, the mine carts really show you where to go, but there's a lot of different areas down here you can look across. The caves connect in multiple different ways, so it's kind of easy to get lost down here, but it's a nice mineshaft POI. Not to be self-critical, but probably one of the best mineshaft POIs in a snow area that I've seen, and I can say that because mostly Clarky and Stratus from the dev team made this, because I was not here when it was done. But that's Mirrored Minds, probably one of my favorite POIs, and now I have to find out how to get out of here. And our next POI is one of the two tropical POIs on the map, which is Brutal Bay. This was actually the first POI we worked on, this little area over here, but I guess fun fact about the beginning of Chaos Island, it was originally going to be a no-build map styled off of Call of Duty, but we decided to change that halfway through as Chapter 4 came out because this was started in Chapter 3. But this was the Call of Duty styled location. I kind of based it off a location I liked from Warzone 2.0. I think it was like Sayel City or something like that. I know I'm probably wrong, but oh well. But it's supposed to be a spread out POI with 5 main points across that you can loot at. So it's a good spread out area. And yeah, that's about it for Brutal Bay. It's actually really big. And our next POI is Limestone Lodge. Now, it's pretty spread out. If you open the map, there's parts of it everywhere. There's a main building up there. There's a few smaller lodges kind of scattered throughout. It's meant to be a POI that a few people can drop at, inspired off of our previous maps, Labyrinth Lodge, and some of Lonely Lodge from actual Fortnite. But yeah, just a simple area, a few bridges, a few watchtowers, and a little archipelago area down here that leads into a drop. And the last POI of the map, which a lot of people say is the worst, and I can kind of see it, is Cruising Cargo. It's a really spread out POI, there's a lot to it. This big building, I'm not really a fan of myself. A lot of people don't really like this area, and it's for a reason, because it's kind of oddly styled. It wasn't really put together that well, and we didn't know what to do with this. But good news is, if the community votes, it won't be here for that long. Which leads us into one thing we can kind of talk about now, which is community votes and community interaction, which basically is just a fancy form of saying you guys get to choose what happens in the island through polls on community tabs and Discord. And besides that, for the best part of the POI, a fully custom yacht. No, this was not a remodeled prefab, this was built from the ground up. Took us probably a day total to make, but one of my favorite parts about this whole map is this yacht itself. And after all the POIs, that leads us to the mechanics of this map. One of them being dirt bikes. Everyone loves dirt bikes, probably one of the best parts about Chapter 4, and ignore the fact that I can't drive them, but yeah, that's one of the mechanics. And for the looting parts of the map, obviously throughout the video you've seen the custom chest. Nothing too special, you see it in almost every BR map nowadays. But there is another addition, which are supply drops. Their smoke is red when they're coming down, not blue, so watch out for that. And when you open them, you get a guaranteed legendary item. And in every supply drop is 6 chili chug splashes. Supply drops are the only way to get them, so I'd recommend getting one if they drop. They usually drop in the north, east, south, and the west over here. And only 4 spawn per game, so get them if you can. And one of the final mechanics on the map is the weekly challenges. Now, this does work per week, they do save in between games. Sometimes they glitch, which is how I have the item right now. But the gist of it is, complete all 3 challenges in the week, and you get the weekly reward. This week's weekly reward is the grapple glider, and all you have to do to get that is, I know it seems like a lot, but destroy 1,000 objects, travel 5,000 meters on a dirt bike, and visit Casablanca by ECL. You might know ECL, you probably know ECL. ECL is an amazing creator, and the last thing about the map that you need to know before you hop in and play is you can always check for yellow question marks to see collab areas from some of your favorite creators, such as ECL now and Directingpete coming soon. And maybe you'll know some other people along the way. But anyways, that's Chaos Island in a nutshell. We hope you enjoy the map. The entirety of Chaos Inc. is super excited to have this map released finally, and have fun playing it. I'm Eclipzz, thank you for watching the video, and have a nice night. Goodbye.